Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Good evening. This is Dennis Wang, clinical consultant, pharmacist, and holistic wellness coach for Sin and Nutrition and Sin and Pharmacy in Winnipeg. And I am live with a couple of my great friends, Mr. Norm Dupas and Mr. Willard Reeves.
Hello,
Welcome,
everybody.
everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Tonight, we're going to tackle the big thing, stress. And I title it Stress That Kills, because
Oh,
stress is creating a lot of chronic health issue. And I've been told by a few of my mentors, and also studies are shown that 95% of our chronic health diseases underlying cause is chronic stress.
Oh.
So I figured, we've been talking about sleep issue, digestive issue, weight, etc., and fatigue. All of that, uh, 95% of the cases, there is an underlying stress that creating all that. And of course, the other part is environmental toxin, which we'll discuss in future. So when I talk about stress, a lot of people that when I talk to them and I said maybe there's underlying stress, and they looked at me and said, "No, I'm not stressed. I have no stress in my life." And so I wanted to kind of get into a little bit of what you consider stress. Like there's good one, there's bad one. So I'm going to start with the bad one. You got into car accident. Knock on wood, we are not.
Yeah.
Your heart started pumping, your adrenaline going, and your breathing increase, and you get anxious or you get angry, whatever. All of those are the stress reaction that your body is going to fight or flight. So if you tell people that, okay, if you get into some sort of accident or etc., then they say, yeah, that'll be a stress. But on the other hand, I actually had a lady came in a few years back into my store saying she can't sleep, and she's been really having difficulty sleeping the whole week, and she has no idea why. And I said, maybe there's some sort of stress, because she's saying, I can fall asleep, I wake up, and I can fall back asleep. So I said, there may be some sort of stress there. And she said, no, I'm not stressed. So I said, are you from Winnipeg? She said, no, I'm in town for 4 weeks.
Okay.
I said, any special occasion that you come into town for 4 weeks? When are you leaving? She said, I'm leaving in a week, but I've been here 4 weeks planning my daughter's wedding.
No,
And
that's
it's a
not
happy
stressful
occasion.
at all.
And so, for her, this is exciting and this is happy. So she does not consider as stress.
Yeah.
But for her body and her brain, it doesn't matter good, exciting stuff or bad, accident. It's react the same thing, get into fight or flight mode. Your heart rate go up, your cortisol start pumping, especially at night. Your brain can't shut down because you're worried about, I don't want to miss this. I have to have this. All these things. So the body's actually in fight or flight and in stress and affecting her sleep. Meantime, from her point of view, is I'm not stressed. I'm planning my daughter's wedding. This is happy occasion. I'm excited. So I wanted to bring that up, that, there's time that people get excited and they don't think it's stress. Like, for example, for me right now, I'm actually getting excited because my firstborn tomorrow's going to be having his graduation banquet. He just finished all his grade 12 exam. He's very happy.
All right.
And I'm looking forward to tomorrow. And I can tell you, tonight I got home late. I didn't eat and I'm not hungry because
stressed.
I'm stressed. My
Yeah.
body is stressed and my body's in fight or flight. And
Yeah.
I know that I have to do this, live with you guys, and I don't want to be late. So that add on the bad stress. So I just had a protein shake and greens before I came down, and I said, I'm good. So, you have to look at all these different events in your life. And if you don't let your body recover properly, then stress is accumulative. Like somebody messaged me on Facebook yesterday saying, why is as we get older, we get, more issue with sleep, more issue with gut dysfunction, and more issue with the energy production? I said, because over the year, as you get older, somehow your body's never recover from the stress properly. And so now as you get older, become, cumulative, your snowballs become bigger and bigger and bigger. And finally it hit you and you fell down.
Interesting. So is it pretty much identical, Dennis, to when we always say if somebody ate one cheeseburger and got a heart attack, they would never eat that cheeseburger. But one cheeseburger over 20 or 25 years, there's the cumulative effect. Is it
Absolutely.
very similar to that?
Yeah, cheeseburger is the last straw that breaks the camel's back.
It takes the last
It's
one.
not the cheeseburger, but over the year of whatever they're doing and however they're eating.
Yeah.
Like last a week or so, I told you I got so many people commenting and asking questions about, for sleep, what to do, for weight loss, what to do. And my reply, quick reply to them is, eat protein, eat vegetables, cut simple carbohydrate and processed food, and pop and sugar that causing inflammation. Otherwise, inflammation is going to cause you more stress. And sooner than later, you're going to have meet the last straw.
The last cheeseburger.
It
Yeah.
reminds me of playing football as well. When you get those butterflies in your stomach, right?
Yeah.
That's a form of stress.
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely.
big time, right?
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
until I actually, when I'm on the football field, until I actually hit somebody, right?
Yeah. Then your body's accept that, okay, I fight
Exactly.
it.
Okay.
You know?
Now the fight is in. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
is as you're talking about that, it actually goes into what simile that I think about when I was about to, first play of the game. If I'm
Yeah.
going to get the ball, right? If I'm not going to get the ball the first series or down for, I am still nervous, right?
Oh,
So in
absolutely.
essence, I'm still stressed, right? Because I need that first hit, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
So
never. Go
I
ahead.
love that. I love that, Willard, because there's really like a real clear cut. You've got like an episodic stress, right?
Yes.
So Dennis, in that case, you've got the episodic stress, but then it goes away, right?
Yeah.
And then episodic, it goes away.
And that's what when I talk about recovery, that you got the episodic stress and then
Yeah.
your body recover. And from Willard case, he's trained professional football player, so the body is getting used to and know how to recover quickly. That's why after he hits somebody, like the first play, whatever, then all the cortisol and stress, the system calm down, saying, okay, I'm good. Right.
That's exactly
But-
how it happens.
But a lot of people out there, somehow they don't even realize that they are under stress and they just keep pushing it. I gotta push it, I gotta push through, and they keep going and going and going and not allowing the whole brain and system and all the function to recover. Like
And
if you
is
look at the football,
Yep.
right? I'm gonna use that analogy. If you look at
Okay.
the football, they throw the ball, whatever, after tackle and everything done, and there's reset,
Hmm.
right?
It is.
And that
Exactly.
reset time, all the professional football player, their system reset also. But
That's true.
if you look at a lot of us, day to day, we don't have to reset. We just keep pushing. We just keep pushing, and that's where the issue come in.
That's where it all goes to.
Yeah.
Bad. Okay. And is it always exactly? I mean, from evolution, is it always really the same systematic process?
Yeah.
So you have stress, and then what
Yeah.
happens?
You have stress, then your system get into fight or flight. So, either you're going to have to fight or you're going to have to run.
Yeah.
And so interesting you brought that up. What's the process? Because that's where, so the first thing that's happened is your heart rate go up so that the blood can pump enough and carry oxygen to extremity. And then the second thing is your brain shut down the digestive tract because you either have to fight or run. You don't really want to be eating and carrying extra weight. So some people, even when that stage, like they can't control their pee or poop, and they have an accident because they're so scared or so excited, and that's just the fight or flight mechanism that the body's saying that I got too much weight. I have to empty my bowel. I have to empty my bladder. So I have more agile movement and lighter weight.
So it seems like um, stress also determines the decisions that you make on a rim.
Absolutely.
Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
you know, how would it work in terms of, okay, I'm all stressed out, whatever. I got to do this. I got to do this. Got to do
Yeah.
this. So
Yeah.
then all of a sudden people start piling stuff on, just piling stuff on that, making it more and more stressful. So
Absolutely.
decision making is
Was
another.
another stress because when you're
Okay.
under stress, your brain's telling your body that we gotta make a quick decision. You don't have
Right.
time to think, just automatic. You're gonna run, you're gonna fight, otherwise you're gonna die. That's
Hmm.
how our system is set up. It's still very primitive, even though we got all these technologies and knowledge and stuff. People are not training themselves how to control that fight or flight response when that happens.
Yeah,
If you
Willard, I love that question, Willard, because
Hmm.
if that happens, so you're under stress, you've got to make decisions real quick when you play football, right?
Right.
You've got literally a nanosecond to make decisions. Is there any specific techniques or approaches that we can do to help us maintain clarity during those crazy stressful events or crazy stressful moments? Are
You
there
know,
things that you guys do as professional athletes?
Yeah,
how I did it was my running style was totally different, right? I didn't try to, go around somebody or dodge them, whatever. I picked out my linebacker that I was going to hit. And if I got past that linebacker, I picked out the defensive back who I was going to hit next, right? I didn't care about the touchdown, the first couple plays. So when you knew I was getting the ball on the first play, right? I'm not trying to go for a touchdown. I'm hitting something, right? Just to break that stress in
yeah,
the butterflies in your
yeah,
stomach,
That
so to
was the
yeah.
speak,
technique.
right? That was my technique, and after that, it was I was completely fine
So
until the
I
next game.
right. So I'm gonna follow through on that
Yep.
comment.
Yep.
So Nam, you ask, okay, how do you manage or whatever? So if you listen to Willard, he said, for me, if when I start, I'm gonna hit this person and then that person. He already have the plan in his head,
Yeah.
Yes.
and he's actually not reacting. He's actually planning and how he's gonna respond.
Yep.
And that's why after he responded, then his body can recover. But
Okay.
if he doesn't respond it and if he react as he's going on the field without plan, he's not gonna get that recover properly. And that's why, like, he's a professional, athletes, right?
Yep.
They all train to, okay, this is a game plan. This is how we're gonna do it. And so even though they have a fight or flight butterfly going on, they practice and they plan it so they know what their response is already before they step onto the field
Good
or
point.
the call. And for we should be taking lessons from these athletes that day-to-day life sometimes, yeah, we don't plan it, but if we don't plan it, how are you gonna, like, are you gonna react or are you gonna try to respond a better way, right? So that's where come into the mindfulness and meditation and stuff that let you consciously respond even though you don't plan it as good as these athletes and stuff. You still can respond rather than react.
Good point.
So one
Yes.
technique, Dennis, that I've seen you use and that I've used over the last 10 years for sure is just taking a deep breath
Yeah,
and not responding on the spot, taking some time
exactly.
to
If
think
you
about
get
it.
if you get something coming in your way and you're feeling stressed, I tell everybody is that don't react to it. Just stay calm, take about 5 deep breaths,
Yeah.
and then you then look at it again. Like, there's time that messages and email that I reply. A few weeks ago, I replied to a message on Facebook, and I didn't take my time. And my reply and my whole post after 30,000 views got pulled down by Facebook saying I am bad, that my comment was bad. And I got warning actually saying, we will be watching you for another a week or two. If you post anything like that, your account will be banned. I'm like, holy cow. You know,
Well, I can't think of a more appropriate thing, Willard and Dennis, in
yeah,
this day and age, because one bad comment, if you do something off the cuff stupid, one
yeah.
bad comment could
you
ruin
can
so
you can
much
get
with
into
Yeah.
social
trouble.
media and
Yeah,
with all the rest, right?
yeah.
Yep.
So
You really got to be
that's
careful.
why we're human, right?
Yeah.
I tell everybody, okay, you should do this and don't react to it and don't respond quickly. Take your time. But I did that 2 weeks ago, and I got into a little bit of the pickle. But
Well,
we're always learning every day, and
yeah,
there's always new things. So
well, and we see this all the time in professional sports, say Willard and Dennis. I
Yes.
mean, we see this all the time. I see that there's a person, and the other players just got under that person's skin, and all of
Yes.
a sudden that player is just no longer efficient, and that's what they want to do, right? They want to psychologically get under their skin. So now that player is so mad that he's not focusing, and you can see it whether it's hockey or football especially
Yeah.
when they get mad, you can tell that's it, and that person just loses the game. So I
It's
find that
always
interesting.
good. It's always getting good to get under someone's skin in a game, but
yeah,
legally,
right,
okay.
Yes,
exactly.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Don't go out and try to
No, no.
do things or start a fight or something like
Yeah,
that. With
no,
football, of course, you're not going to start a fight. You get
no.
kicked
no,
out. And that's more stressful when you get
Yeah.
kicked out because
yeah,
you're sitting there thinking, oh man, what's the fine going to be now?
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm
So,
fascinated by that.
like in day-to-day life, I wanted to kind of go back in with the whole process is that after emptying whatever, one time it's fine, right? But now what's happening is we keep getting hit with these stress issue and become cumulative. And so now your subconscious mind think that you're always in fight or flight.
Hmm.
So every little thing, somebody says something that you don't agree or you don't feel comfortable with it, your body start getting into stress response, fight or flight.
Okay.
And so, later on, like, I work with a lot of women also with the perimenopause, postmenopausal women, and they'll come to me and say, I'm having a lot of hot flashes, especially at night. How come? I'm waking up middle of the night and I can fall back asleep. How come? Because their body is now so stressed that every little thing, for example, at night they're sleeping, if they don't feel comfortable or something, temperature, etc., every little thing will trigger their body response as a fight or flight. And then they're going to have a cortisol spike that's going to wake them up. And then when they wake up, they got annoyed. Why am I waking up? And they get more stress. And
Can't go
then,
back to sleep.
like about an hour or two, they're just staring at the ceiling and now
It's
they're
just a vicious
frustrated and
circle, right?
they start thinking
Yeah.
about the thing that went wrong,
Yeah.
the day before, and they can't stop it. Now they got madder and madder. And, that's one of the huge issue. And then with that, the cortisol spike more and they got more hot flashes. And by the morning, they'll tell me that I got about 20 hot flashes last night. Why? I need my hormones. Well, hormones is one thing, but initial trigger is the stress response. And sorry, I'm gonna continue on a little bit because I brought up the hormones,
Of course. Yeah.
especially for women, but the same for the man. As we get older, for men is we call it andropause. For women is menopause. What happens is that when you get into that situation, for women, before the menopause, their progesterone and estrogen, a lot of them, especially estrogens, make when they ovulate. And then their testosterone is making adrenal gland. Remember adrenal gland, that's a stress gland. When you have fight or flight, adrenal gland has to help you energy production, all of that. But for both men and women, when we get into andropause or menopause, your testes and your ovaries are no longer making hormones anymore. Your adrenal gland take over 100% of the hormone production.
Right.
So that's when the issue come. If you're already stressed and your adrenal gland is always doing fight or flight all the time, now got a second job and no longer can handle it. That's when the hormone imbalance coming in, and these women and men got more issue of fatigue, low libido, all of that.
Oh.
Yeah.
So how high does the heart rate go up when you're really stressed?
Depending on person to person, for you, because you being trained athlete, so your heart rate probably go up to 70 or 80
Okay.
beats per minute. That's probably you in a fight or flight.
Okay.
For me, probably about 100.
Oh wow.
My heart rate is still like I used to play basketball when I was teenager and stuff. So
Mhm.
my resting heart rate is about 55 because I monitor it every day.
Okay.
And so I know that when my heart rate going to 80s and above, I know that I'm under really stress and I have to do meditation or breathing, all of that to calm myself down. Otherwise, I keep going that way. Pretty soon I'm going to stroke out. On the
Yeah.
other hand, my wife, she's never done exercise or being athletic. So her resting heart rate is about 60 to 70.
Yep.
So for her, 99 beat per minute heart rate is kind of okay. But
Okay.
if she's stressed, she will go over 100.
Oh,
So it all depends on how your body is accustomed to,
trained. Okay. Yes.
trained to exactly.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. It makes sense now. Because that's how I did it in football, is to train myself when I'm nervous. Well, we call it butterflies, of course.
right.
But you're actually nervous, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I had to hit something,
yeah,
whether it was blocking or just running
yeah,
into something full
yeah,
speed, right?
yeah,
That's how I got it.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
that's how you're trained. Instead of flight, instead of running, I'm gonna fight,
Yeah.
and I'm always fighting, and that's the quote unquote positive mentality for the football, right? That you
Yes.
gotta hit somebody so that you hit somebody, you win, and you are the stronger person type of thing,
Oh,
and
this
and
was
with
just to
that,
hit something.
yeah,
Just
just
Dennis, I don't know if you can answer this, Dennis, but I find that I find that really interesting. So, what makes one person fight, and what makes one person flight?
it's the I can't really say 100%, but it's the subconscious instinct, and again, how your experience over the year as you grow up subconsciously. Are you always end up running, or are you always no I can fight type of
Yeah.
thing, right? And that
Yeah.
is a lot to do with it.
Personalities. Eh?
Yeah, personality.
True. Yeah.
Like for me, I won't fight because I'm always being, when I was growing up, my parents always been like, no, fighting is not good. You have to avoid it. So I've always avoided. So for me, is if I get into fight or flight response before, knowing how to manage whatever stress and stuff, I will always avoid the fight. But I felt really, really sick because,
Oh,
yeah, my stomach just go queasy. I don't feel good. I get really fatigued, and at some time I may get even really dizzy
Hmm.
so is
because
this
my
an
sugar.
elevated heart level?
Uh,
Is that
Not just
why?
elevated heart level, but it's my sugar level go down
Oh,
because my cortisol is not managing the sugar level up. to fight or run properly, but I avoided. My subconscious mind think that, okay, now I avoided the stress. Now everything let go for me. So uh, probably up to 10 years ago, every time I go on vacation, I get sick because
Mm.
my immune system and everything just let go, saying, okay, I am enough running away and I don't have to worry about anything and I'm good. But then all the system just shut down.
Wow.
It's crazy. The
Yeah.
stress thing is we all talk about it, and I find it again. So Willard identified like bang, okay, stress is gone, bang. Then we talked about that. So stress. What are the long term effects of someone that's constantly in that high level,
Yeah.
always stressed? What are the long term consequences? So what kind of ailments, what kind of things do you see?
Initially, when they are on a high stress and they think they can handle it, those people are the one that get the stroke and heart attack
Interesting.
because your heart is pumping so much. It's and your blood vessel are actually like a water pipe, right? You keep pushing high pressure water through the pipe, it's going to be wear and tear. And sooner than later, these pipes get damaged and burst.
So
The
that's one
same
long term.
idea.
Yep.
The same idea. The
Hmm.
stroke is, either the wear and tear repair that you got so much plaque there. And the plaque is actually what happened is normal thing, always wear and tear. So our body's always trying to repair these blood vessels from wear and tear. So when there's a tear there, normal process of repair is the inflammatory process, inflammation going on. Then the platelet and stuff get attracted to inflamed wall and then start plastering it using platelet and cholesterol. And
Wow.
actually, it's a bandaging the area.
Yep.
But when the repair is done and the wall is back to normal, then these cholesterol and platelet get dissolved normally and then the plaque gone away. But when you're adding up, never repair never finish.
Yeah.
You keep
Oh,
injuring
okay.
it. So
Keep
you got,
injuring it. Yeah.
you got
Yeah.
one
It's a
plaster after
constant.
another,
Yeah.
and then so now you got the plaque forming and vessel become smaller. And the new plaque that and cholesterol that go on is not stable. Like if you put five
Wow.
band-aids on your wounds and you push the water, you spray the water, the band-aids, the top one's gonna
Come
come
up.
off.
Yeah.
Yes.
The same idea, that thing break off and then fall, flow to somewhere and then lodge there in a smaller vessel, especially in the brain. You
Yeah.
got stroke because of the blockage. But it's all because we are not allowing the body to recover and repair properly, and we just keep pushing. But if you don't have any of these stroke and heart attack in that situation, later on your brain actually is gonna start turning it down because brains now got warning saying there's too much inflammation. If I don't do anything, the brain itself gonna get inflamed. So the brain's got turning down the whole cortisol production, the whole adrenal function, all of that. So your energy level is gonna start going down. So I've talked to a few patients, and when they said they're fatigued, I asked them, "Do you have a low energy like in the afternoon between 2 and 4 every day?" And they're like, "How do you know?" Because this is now called stage 2 adrenal dysfunction or adrenal fatigue, that your adrenal gland either get too exhausted and not able to function in the afternoon properly and resting, or your brain is literally turning it down. And
Wow.
by the afternoon, you have no energy anymore. But 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, you're good. And then after supper, like 10, 11 o'clock, your energy level's there. Those are the night owls, right?
Uh,
I can stay up until 2, 3 in the morning because now my adrenal gland is working again after resting the whole afternoon. And those are the one that can't sleep, and those are the one also that will wake up 2 3 in the morning. And I have people said, because I can't sleep, I just go do dishes, and I just go do my walk until 4 5 in the morning, and then I fell back asleep, and then 6 o'clock I gotta get up. Now they don't get the sleep. Now during the daytime they don't have the energy, and they are dragging through, and they won't take a nap. And at night they got so much energy that they can sleep, and they're working. So in 24 hours a day, they may get 3 hours of sleep. And that's not enough time for your body to repair and regenerate, like, we talk about in the sleep episode. The
Oh,
last
wow.
stage, when you get there, is we call it preclinical Edison. You are totally exhausted all the time, and you can't sleep at night either, because your adrenal gland is totally working at night, keeping you awake the whole night. But morning, adrenal gland sleeping, and you have to do stuff. And I've seen patients that cannot get out of bed by that stage.
Yeah.
And that, even then, some doctor specialists will not diagnose them as an Edison, which is total adrenal burnout. If you get diagnosed with Edison, you have to be on cortisol tablet the rest of your life. That's what they will
Really?
tell you. But I have
Why?
actually, because adrenal gland no longer make the cortisol, no longer
Oh,
can make the cortisol, it's burnt out. But I have used the nutrients and lifestyle and reverse people with the Edison in last 15 years.
hmm,
So it's always that if you give proper nutrients and food and supplement and rest, you can always repair and regenerate your body parts. Even brain, like when I was in pharmacy school, people said, oh, when your brain cells dead, that's it. Not true. There is
oh,
a neurons in the brain and
They
cells
regenerate.
that
Yep.
that
you can
starts firing.
regenerate. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
start firing. You just have to do the brain training, all of that.
Yeah.
Hmm. We mentioned about meditation
Yeah.
last time.
hmm
I know you kind of skimmed over it just a little bit earlier, but meditation and stress go hand in hand in terms of um, relieving
Recovering.
that stress.
Yeah.
That stress.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. The reason is that what meditation does is a few things. The breathing itself, like, so fight or flight mode is sympathetic system from the brain, the nerve system.
Right.
It's automatic nervous system. So our heart, we don't have to think about how our heart's gonna pump. It's automatic pumping. We don't have to think about our breathing. It's automatic. All the blood flow, everything's, so that's a sympathetic system. So when you get into fight or flight mode, your sympathetic system go up, and that's when cortisol and adrenaline and rate increase and all of that. When you do meditation or even deep breathing, that's why I said do a deep breathing, even at least, as because when you breathe properly and doing meditation, when you inhale, your stomach supposed to go up, and
Right.
then when you exhale, the stomachs go down. That moving the stomach muscle in and out, there is a nerve called vagus nerve. That is a parasympathetic system nerve. What parasympathetic system does is calm the sympathetic system down. So calm the stress response down, calm your brain down. And so doing that, you are stimulating vagus nerve reaction by
Oh, okay.
breathing in and out of the tummy. That in itself actually trying to balance that sympathetic system with increasing the parasympathetic system. The other thing
Wow.
is that when you do meditation, you actually trying to concentrate on something
Right.
so that you're taking your brain and your focus away from this stress issue.
And
And
going
so
to somewhere
that
else.
exactly take it somewhere else. So that actually allow your body to, you know, move away from the stress, and you make your body think that, okay, there is no stress.
Hmm.
And so that is the key thing to it. And if you do that, I talk about, doing daily meditation, because that, well, it's as an athlete, when you train on the field, certain play you keep practicing,
Yeah.
becomes second nature, right? When you
Yes.
go on the field, you got butterfly. You know that you don't have to think about it. You're already looking who I'm going to hit,
Yes. You already know the
right?
play. You just
And
know when to
exactly the
hit.
same
Okay.
thing when you're going to do meditation, you do it daily, 15 minutes at least all the time.
Okay.
You are training your brain to take away or focus away from the stress if that happens. So if you do it daily, when you get a stress, you can consciously take your focus away from that stress and you can look at better solution.
Right.
So it's the same idea, the same, analogy.
S-
There's other way of doing, like, people say, oh, there's so many different, yes, there's so many different way of uh, managing the stress. Like there's, I talk about belly breathing, there's yoga, and there's Tai Chi. All of them are train you to be able to focus properly so that when stress happen, you can literally take that focus away from the
Okay.
stress. And then the other thing that I've learned it through Tony Robbins is tapping solution. There is a technique that you tap your face and your brow, and when you're stressed, so what happens is that you're literally bringing your focus away by tapping your face and skin. When you tap it, your mind just go to where you are tapping. And so that really works, especially for the younger kid. Like, like 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years old, you tell them to do the belly breathing or you tell them to do a yoga or Tai Chi or meditation. You're not gonna get them. So, you give them this uh, routine of, okay, if you feel angry, tap your brow, tap your, they have the set of area that you tap, and the kid likes that because they actually play. They think that they
hmm
play, but that tapping on the face and arm and stuff, it's a physical touch that distracts them away from the
From the
stress.
stress.
Wow.
Yes.
So
Makes
there's many
sense.
way of
Well,
doing it.
that's
Just
one
yeah,
thing you talked about.
yeah.
We talked about we can do meditation and stuff, but what role does exercise play in that?
Exercise, you have to be careful
Okay.
because if you I got a few people come to me, they want to lose weight, but their weight gain is barely, which means especially it's due to stress that they are gaining weight. So they're eating less, and then they said, I'm exercising an hour 5 to 7 times a week and I'm gaining more weight. Because if you
So,
are stressed and you exercising more, you're causing more stress because
Ah,
physical exercise is a stress to the body.
okay.
Regardless of it's good or bad, it's
Yeah.
still a stress
Yeah.
because you're
right.
physically exerting energy. You using the muscle. When you use the muscle, like when you want to build the muscle, you lift weight and stuff. When you do that, actually your muscle actually got break down,
Tearing
and
apart.
then
Yeah.
you have to then eat enough protein and proper nutrients, and your body can rebuild and bigger muscle, right? But
Okay.
these people, they're exercising, you know, because they're stressed and they're over exercising. But because they're stressed, they can't eat properly. The stomachs are not, digestion's not working. So now they're not getting the nutrients that the body need, but they're exercising more. So you're creating more demand, but supply is not there. So it's gonna get more stress. I tell people to, if I hear that they're exercising 5 to 7 days a week and they're gaining weight and they're more exhausted, I'm telling them cut it down.
Oh,
Interesting.
But yeah, I tell them, go do 30 minutes 3 times a week. That's it. No more than that. If you do that, you will see that within 4 weeks or so, their energy level will come back. They will start burning the excess weight.
Interesting.
But not moving 100% is not good either. So
Yeah.
people that who are totally exhausted, I
Mhm.
tell them that at least even you can go for a walk. If you can, just sitting at your seat, you can do stretching, you can do, moving of your
yeah.
leg, all of that increase the circulation. We want that circulation going because that will bring nutrients to all the part of the body better, right? And
Okay.
when you move and exercise a little bit, then that actually stimulate the appetite because you're moving and your body is saying, I need energy, I need food.
Yeah, I know that. I use this technique all the time. And it's Tony Robbins that says motion is emotion, right?
Yeah,
So if you're feeling a little bit stressed or whatever else, if you go for a 20-minute walk, there's something about that 20 minutes that after that, the things
yeah,
just change.
yeah.
Just
And
Good.
in that walk, then you end up doing the breathing and start you stimulating
yeah,
your vagus nerve and all of that. So
yeah. So things to do like exercise can help. We've
mhm.
got obviously yoga and meditation. How about the role of nutrition?
It's huge because when you're under the stress, and Willard's again, I'm referring back to him because being an athlete, if you don't eat properly, proper nutrition, you don't eat enough, protein, vegetable, balanced meal, you're not going to have that energy and focus that he needs on the field. Like he can tell
True.
you that I'm sure, there's time that for whatever reason, you know, the meal, whatever he had, may be different than they had the routine, right?
Yep.
Before the game,
Always have our
whatever.
have a,
Yeah,
always have our routine. Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so, he's trained good enough that now even, he's not playing, he still has routine. I gotta eat this, I gotta do this, I'm gonna exercise that much.
Right.
And his body is trained to
Yeah.
uh, manage the stress really good. Uh, there are other athletes out there that are not, like, people that uh, uh, NFL player that got a heart attack on the field
Yeah.
because they are not trained properly and they are not looking after it's too much inflammation for them. And that tell me that the nutrition and stuff is not there properly, that your body is working more than need to be. So the food is a big thing. A lot of time I tell people, protein and vegetables, that's the basic building block for us because we need protein
Mhm.
not just for the muscle, but all our brain neurochemical are made from protein. And also protein is a good energy source. It's a good fuel for our body to burn. Very good, long, sustainable energy. And then vegetables got minerals and vitamins. You need all the minerals and vitamins to all these building muscle process, making brain chemical process, energy production. Everywhere you need vitamin B complex and minerals because they are the cofactor. It's like, you're driving a car. You're only going to fill gas, but you don't really put engine oil in it. That engine's going to
Gonna burn up.
you know, burn up pretty soon. So vitamins and minerals are the engine oil to run this, so-called engine smoothly with the fuel.
Okay. Oh,
And I'm sure you
I
must have experienced that, Willard, when you were playing football, right? If you didn't eat properly, you didn't have the proper, your game must have been off, right?
absolutely. But doing the games, well, we have training table as well, right? They give you everything that you can possibly use to have that energy while you're playing the games. I mean, the training table is not like it is today, where they really, really stress nutrition in a big way for the athletes now. But back in when I played, we had the spaghetti, you had the steaks, you had the fish, you had all that kind of stuff, right? And that was good eating, you know.
Yeah,
It was good eating. I mean,
yeah.
I had pasta every single game day, every single game day, right? And I never deviated from it because I felt that that was giving me
Give you enough
the
energy.
energy.
Yeah,
Yeah, giving me
yeah,
enough energy
absolutely.
to burn and stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Plays a huge role in
But
nutrition.
I'm glad to hear that there's a fish and steak. They know that it's protein needed, right?
fish and steak,
Yeah,
yes, yeah. Pasta, fish,
yeah. So
not
that
so much on the
combination,
steak.
yeah,
Yeah.
the protein and carbohydrate combination during the play is perfect because I tell some people that, oh, I keep eating pasta and bread before bedtime. I have to eat something. I crave carb. I tell people that add a bit of the protein to it. Right now, you cannot stop it because your body is demanding it because there is something called night eating syndrome that some people at 10 or 11 o'clock, they have to eat the carbohydrate.
Oh,
When you eat
wow.
the carbohydrate that late, your stomach actually produces serotonin. That's telling me that they are low in serotonin. But to be able to produce serotonin, that's one of the brain calming brain chemical. You need protein
Oh,
as a building block.
What
So
did
I
you call
tell
that,
people
Dennis? Sorry, night eating syndrome?
night eating
yeah.
syndrome. If you Google it, there
I
is
don't
such
think I ever
thing.
had that,
I
but
never, yeah, I've never
I
heard of
had
that
it.
before, but
yeah.
I
I
actually had it myself. I will eat a bowl of noodle at 11 o'clock almost every night when I was
Oh,
really stressed. Otherwise, I can sleep. I won't fall
oh.
interesting.
asleep. So when I do that, then my stomach produces serotonin that convert to melatonin and that calm me down. I can sleep.
So how long do you
Interesting.
sleep for?
With that, I will sleep through the whole night.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm
Because
not going to try it, but I just want to see how long
no,
maybe we should
you
try a
sleep.
bowl of noodles before going to
but
bed. While
but right now, that's what I do is I put the like if I'm gonna eat a bowl of noodle at 10 o'clock at night, I would put a 2 eggs in it. If not, I will have a like shave thinly sliced pork and stuff into it, and then if I can, some cases I may even put like Chinese vegetables and stuff, make it the whole like meal, with meat and vegetables and stuff.
Wow.
interesting,
The whole
interesting.
enchilada.
Yeah.
Wow. Now we've seen this, and some of us have done some of this. What are the coping mechanisms that I'm going to say negative coping mechanisms that you've seen that people commonly turn to try to alleviate stress?
Well, one of the things that I saw, I was I couldn't say no not to do it to the person either because that was the only way that helping him
Yeah.
is literally drinking a bottle of wine.
Wow. Drinking is a
Because
common one. Yeah.
because
I was going to
if
ask that. I
yeah,
was going to
if you
ask that.
drink
So,
a glass or two of wine, it's actually calm your sympathetic system down. But more than that,
Yeah.
then
Then
become too much and you got inflammation and you actually gonna stress the system. But this gentleman that I saw that came and see me again 8 years ago, probably, uh, when he came to see me, he was so nervous and afraid that he didn't want to tell me. And we start talking about it, and his wife said, "How about alcohol? How does it affect?" And I said,
okay.
"One or two glasses will calm you down. But, if you have to drink a lot to calm you down, then, that could become a potential issue." And so he asked me, he said, "Are you opposed to it?" I said, "For the moment, it's for you. If you're doing that, I am not because I know I can see, how anxious and nervous you are." And he said, "Okay, I will work with you. I will listen to you because you are the only one in last 20 years that said I can drink the wine to keep myself calm right now." I said, "Well, if that's working, I'm not going to take it away, right? I have to then start working on your system to heal it before I can take anything away." And the same thing, a lot of people come to me and say, "Oh, I'm on antidepressant. I want to get off. Can you give me something?" And I always said, "We cannot take anything out unless your system is ready."
Ready for it.
So
There you
I'm
go.
not going to say, "Oh, I'm going to switch you off."
Yeah.
No, I am not that pharmacist. I'm holistic pharmacist that I know my pharmacy, I know my medication. You cannot take anything out, especially prescription medication, unless you want to cause major issue for this patient.
Yeah. Has to
Oh,
be done
wow.
slowly, and it has to
Yeah.
be done, in a certain way.
So if
So
you're actually drinking alcohol to calm you at night,
Mhm.
what happens when he gets so used to it? He's going to be increasing that alcohol. Then
Absolutely.
what? Yeah.
Absolutely. That gentleman that actually at night he will have to drink, he actually literally drank 2 bottles of white wine before
Oh,
he can go
wow.
to sleep.
Wow.
And so, that was major issue, but I cannot take it away. Otherwise, he just gonna go the other side, not
You'd
just
have a
anxiety,
withdrawal then,
but
right? So it's
withdraw, and
withdrawal.
he's gonna have a major issue. So what I had to do was trying to replace at night 2 bottles of wine with the carbohydrate and protein.
Oh,
Gradually add that to it, and then gradually cut that wine down.
Trying to go to healthier alternatives
Yeah,
then.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And then after he got that wine down with the protein and carbohydrate at night, then we start working on the whole meditation and stuff. Then he now trusts me that I can help him to sleep properly without the wine. So now he start working with me a little bit more closer, and I can then give him better nutritional suggestion, etc., etc. So it's a process with
So
everything.
drinking is one. Are
Mhm.
there others?
Well, other people, what they do is they fight.
Huh?
They
fight?
always pick fight, or they yell at other people literally because they don't
It's
want to
true.
admit that they're
Yeah.
stressed.
Yeah.
So
Is it true?
they take out on other people.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm not trying to,
So what does that do? I mean, if you're taking it out on somebody else, what is that? How is that helping the person who's having the issue?
well, the person who's having the issue, it's like, a little bit of like what you did, right? In the field, you got butterfly, you hit
Yeah.
somebody, and legally,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
then your body is good because it shows that you control the situation,
Oh, cool. So he's not
right?
controlling the situation by starting the fight with other people just
Right.
to probably what, calm him down?
Yeah. Yeah. So that he's showing, telling himself that I'm the stress is not taking over me. I'm actually controlling everything. I fight with people, I yell at people, and so I'm bigger, stronger.
That's their drug.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say,
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah. That's the
that's a
adrenaline.
serious drug to
Yeah.
have.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's that dopamine rush.
Yeah. No, that's a
Yeah.
good one,
Yeah.
Dennis.
The
That's I never
dopamine.
thought of that.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, it's dopamine.
Yeah. That's a dopamine rush.
Wow.
That they become now addicted to it. They like it, so they keep doing it, and that's where the bullying and that's where the
I was
abuse
gonna
and
say it'll
yeah,
get worse
yeah, oh
because
yeah,
that's their crutch.
yeah,
It's their
exactly,
crutch. Okay, so
yeah,
that's their comfort zone is
yeah,
to
Yeah.
try to bully someone
yeah,
else.
Yeah.
But what happens if they get their butts kicked?
yeah,
What happens? Do they go down?
yeah,
Okay, all right. So they have to find another mechanism to.
exactly, yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Ah, the extraordinary
Unfortunate,
ways of the
but
body.
a lot of time is you look at those people and like from my point of view, it's okay. It's there's underlying stress issue going on that they are not admitting, they are denying, and
Okay,
they're
they're in
using the
denial.
crutch of yelling at other people or fighting with other people or all of that.
So there's where the stress and the mentality goes hand
Mhm.
in hand.
Yeah,
If you can't control it, like how I control
yeah,
mine, just going
yeah,
out and popping somebody for the first time.
yeah,
After that, I'm done. I'm
yeah,
good to go.
yeah.
But others need more and more and
More and
more of
more.
that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
That will get them in
For your
trouble.
situation that you are trained to play the game,
Right.
and so consciously what you need to do, and you practice and practice and practice. In their cases, they don't know how to manage that stress, and so they just blew up,
Oh,
and
okay.
that's for them to show that everybody that
He's
what
in
stress,
control.
I'm in control.
Yeah,
When
but
people
he's not.
say, oh, you're stressed, and those people will say, I'm not stressed, because if they admit that they are stressed, they're not in control,
Right.
right? So they do things to show other people that I'm in control, I am not stressed. And
We we just got a
In
comment,
denial.
Dennis. Someone says, "Oh my God, I must follow your advice. I know I'm in trouble. Thank you."
Well,
Surely ill.
sometimes you hear it from somebody,
Yeah,
right? Then
yeah,
you can see it because
yeah,
that's why we always said a fresh set of eyes always good. So,
yeah,
I'm writing essay or whatever email. Sometime I'll say to my wife, "Can you read it before I send it? I wanted to
yeah,
make sure that,
yeah,
I
yeah.
things that
And
I said in there that you may see that it's appropriate or I should add something to make it better." So it's always like
yeah,
everything is the same.
yeah,
Having like for me as I've been working with people doing wellness consultation for like 15, I started doing working with one-on-one with patients since 2004. So I've
Okay.
seen many different
yeah,
situations, but I trained to look at from the eyes of the whole adrenal dysfunction and stress.
yeah,
And maybe I'm biased, but for me, as every cases that I work with, every people that I work with, I see it as underlying chronic stress. And when I work with that,
yeah.
75 to 80% of the cases, we can then heal the person. It's a journey.
Okay.
It's not
I,
overnight thing.
Oh, big
And
time.
then, I can then show them and people see what's going on. Then they can do something about it. They can work on it.
don't you just love that comment though? Because I mean, I've been with you for 10 years at least, and I think you say this all the time is when someone realizes
Yeah.
that there's an issue,
Yeah.
that's where change happens.
Exactly.
Yes.
So when that
Yes.
person
Exactly.
says, "Oh my God, I need," that's where change starts to happen. It's
Yeah.
like, what, you know what? I've got an issue. What do I need to do to
Yeah.
change
Yeah.
and to
And
make it
that's
different?
what that's what I do with all my consult patients is I tell them, you know what? I'm showing you what's going on. I'm pinpointing it so that you can see that so you can change because I can't do anything for anybody, right? I can only say, okay, this is what's happening until they see that and they accept that they are ready to change.
Yep.
Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
Now, that I keep saying a lot of time
Absolutely.
that I can take the horse to the water, but I cannot make them drink. They
Absolutely.
have to make that
Uh,
decision. And so
Absolutely.
a lot of
Yeah.
people come to me. There's some people come to me saying, "Oh, do this for me." No, I'm the coach.
Hmm.
You're the driver. You are the quarterback. You
Yes.
Yeah.
have
No,
to
I
execute it. I
that's
can
why
give you the plan. Will it understand that, right?
Yes.
Whatever role you're playing, the coach gonna give you the game plan. You have to go out and execute it.
You gotta
yeah,
execute it
yeah.
If you
to
do
what he's trying to.
whatever, that's
You
your
get
choice. I
Yeah.
can't do anything from sideline. You know,
Mhm.
you come
up,
out and I can
up to
yell
the
at you,
player. Yeah.
but nothing's gonna change.
Yeah.
So
But
for me, I don't yell at people
yeah.
anymore.
But it's such a beautiful
Anymore?
not anymore.
Anymore,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
used to get really
We
mad.
but it's such a beautiful comment because one thing that really stuck with me over the last many years is that whether it's a saber-toothed tiger running at us and coming, for years of evolution, or
Yeah,
whether it's your cell phone dinging, or
yeah,
whether it's a identify what those saber-toothed tigers are,
yeah.
right? Because you can't always have a saber-toothed tiger running at you. It's not good. You've explained
No,
that over the last
no.
hour.
Yeah,
So identify those saber-toothed tigers, shut them off, and
yeah.
try to control it
Yeah.
so that you don't have as many of those stress
Tigers
responses
coming
all
to
the time.
you. Yeah, like I'm gonna admit that. I've been working with people for the last 15 years, and I've been managing my own stress. Have you ever remember like Willard especially phoned me a few times on my cell phone? I never answered the cell phone because that is my saber-tooth tiger. I shut on my ringer. My
Uh-huh.
phone is never
Yeah,
sound come out of it. I just use it as a text and I look at email and stuff whenever I want to.
Hmm.
That's my control for my
Okay.
stress.
beautiful.
Okay. Yeah, no kidding. That's a good way of looking at it too. Big time.
Yeah, fantastic. Just a quick comment says thank you for your in-depth information. You have helped me to help my family. A
Good. Good.
bunch of hearts. So
This is what we do, right? We're here every 2 weeks talking about it, having fun, sharing information.
Hmm.
And if we get one or two people that learn one or two pointers, we done our job,
that's what it's all about.
you know.
Yes. I was
So
at I was at the Bomber game, their first home game, and a former teammate of mine came up and said that very thing. He said, "I tune in. I love the information that you guys had, and he's going to tune in a little bit more when he's not so busy.
Beautiful.
So yeah, it's definitely reaching people, and is
Yeah,
actually really
yeah.
helping people as
And
well.
that's the thing. That's the key thing is that, when we sat down a couple of months ago, the first
Yeah,
time we sit down and we start talking about this, and we all look at each other and we got to share this information,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
You know,
Yeah,
we
Yeah.
can talk about it in our little room, but why don't we put it up onto, the whole live and social media, and
let's
whoever
share
can,
it. hmm
take a few pointer here and there, we're doing good.
Yeah.
Yes, we are, which
Excellent.
Well,
And
is
they can
really
find
good.
us live on, or they can find us on.
they can find us on this one after that we finish. I posted on podcasts, so we
Yes,
are on actually Spotify, we are
Beautiful.
on Apple Podcasts, we are on Google Podcasts, and we are on Amazon Podcasts.
Excellent.
And I find it that those are the one that I posted, and I
okay,
find it that there's a few other podcast channels are picking it up
good.
because
Excellent.
I see there's a podcast addict, and there's uh, even from the web browser, apparently people are finding us. So if you want to re-listen to it, go find podcasts under Heal You From Within on Spotify, Amazon, Google, and Apple Podcasts, and we are there.
Excellent.
Good. Very nice.
Well,
Anything you can do. Go ahead.
we are up to the hour mark.
Yep.
Any final question, final comment from?
Now I know why my stress was controlled when I was playing football, because after the hit, boom, I was good, right? And you tell me, okay, you go in, you do your thing, you come back out there, now you're ready to go. Now you're really ready to get into the game. And whatever plays you have, you know what your plays are, you know what you're going to be doing. So, um, no, that's really good. This is
Yeah.
really good
Me
stuff,
too.
man.
Fantastic. And me
Yeah.
for sure is the reset to make sure
Yes.
that you're not always staying at this. You have to reset.
You have
If you
to
don't
reset.
reset, that's where the problems
Yes.
arise. Stress
Yeah.
is good, but if you're always in the stress mode,
Well, we
it's
need
not good.
stress. Our
Yeah, yeah,
bodies build it with it. If we don't have a stress, like,
you're dead. Yeah.
one time um, during my training, one of the, colleagues, attendees said to the physician who's lecturing, saying, I want to eliminate the stress. And the physician said, the only time you're going to have 100% no stress is when you're dead. Because our physiology, this is how
Yeah,
we are built.
yeah,
There's always going to be stress.
yeah.
How you manage it,
Yeah,
not,
that's the key.
you cannot eliminate stress.
Yeah,
That's impossible. This is human.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
All
Okay.
right. Thanks a lot. Have a good
well,
evening.
have a good evening. In 2 weeks' time, we will come back. I have not thought of what topic, but if anybody has a interesting topic that want us to discuss, absolutely comment in the Facebook, like underneath it, and we'll look at it, and absolutely we will try and see what we can do.
Okay.
Until then, have a great evening. Breathe, meditate, and relax and reset.